Hello everybody, welcome back or welcome to the channel for the first time. This is my first ever coloring book collection series. I have started my coloring journey in about 2016 and I thought I would go back and start off my collection series with where I kind of started with true adult coloring. I did color a couple of other books that I have completed, but Johanna Basford books were kind of my first really big serious adult coloring books. So I am going to start off with my Johanna Basford collection. It's actually larger than I even thought. I have 13 books, I believe, in this stack. Some of them are complete, being the Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. So that is actually a huge book. It's over 80 pages. So I won't flip through absolutely every single page for that book, but the other books I have done a lot less pages in them. So I will go through with you and indicate the pages that I've completed. If you like what you see in this and there's a page from a book that you would like to tackle with me, by all means contact me on Instagram via direct message. I'm JI Colorist on Instagram, and I'd be happy to pull out one of these books and get a little bit more colored in them with you. But let's take a look at what I have colored. I'm going to move this huge stack to the side. I have them ordered somewhat in how they came to me, so not necessarily the year that they were published, but how they kind of come to me and how I've colored in them. This is the smallest book, so it was on top just so it doesn't get lost, but I'll shift this to the side and we'll get back to it. So for a change, I'm not going to be doing things by size. I do think that I won't be needing to move the camera up and down, because I think I'm just going to leave it at this size. So where we're going to start is the Enchanted Forest, and I'm not sure if this is her very first book or not, but you can tell the color of it has yellowed quite a bit, so I'm not really sure what goes on with that, but this is one of my original books. I have disc bound most of my Johanna Basford books, and that's because I find them easier to work in. They're all 10 by 10, and what I'm going to do is just flip to the pages that I have completed. And at some point I started putting the date on the pages I completed, but in the beginning I wasn't doing that. But I have a love of owls, so I was really happy with how this page turned out. And this is soft pastels for the background. And you'll notice that my love of backgrounds kind of evolved over time. I did start out with not doing backgrounds, but I always had a love of shiny things. So there is a gel pen there. I am mainly a color pencil artist or colorist. And this one here was actually done not too long ago, a couple of years, I believe, or last year. And when I disc bind, I use the plastic sheets to help protect the pages due to mainly pastels. This was done May 16th, 2017, so a long time ago, but happy with how this page turned out. I haven't worked in this book for quite a while. This is another page. Again, I did a lot of chalk pastel backgrounds. This page very much reminded me of, oh, I missed this one. Here we go. The Froggy, and he was done in 2017. Lots of bright colors. And this page here reminds me of Johanna Basford's pictures in Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. And this was done in 2017. And I like the colors from this one. And I think, oh, I have one more. There's this page. Just soft background with some pastels. And I do have, when I disc bound it, I did pull out these two large posters, so I have them just sitting at the back, but I haven't completed either of them. So I've got them sitting at the back of this book as they were pull-out posters. And that's all I have done in Enchanted Forest. The next book I have is The Lost Ocean. And I might just start at the back and flip forward so it's a little easier to flip through. And yes, this is actually a double page, but I only decided to do one page of it. And this I did to demonstrate an altered page. And so I added this sticker here that is a clear bottle. And I drew in some extra things on the page. And that was kind of a fun thing to do. And here's my whale page. And the background is some shininess, so probably metallic gelatos. In fact, it says gelato background with stencils and polychromos with black ink and Jelly Roll gel pens. I haven't done a lot in this book. This one I did in 2022, and I do like how this turned out. It's Inktense, polychromos, 2 gel pens, and some gelato along the outside. For wallpaper pages in Johanna Basford books, I like to use them as altered pages. So I did this as my altered page series, and I actually photocopied and enlarged it quite a few times, some puzzle pieces. I am not good at drawing, but I am excellent at tracing. So I thought that this was fun. So I used these 5 colors, and then I used the same 5 colors. So this is acrylic paint pen, and then this is gelato in the background. And then I've also got some gel pen, and I've picked up just a few spots on here. There was these little starfish, and I colored the starfish in the gel pen that matched the colors. So it was a fun way to get a background done. This next page is actually a buddy color with Amanda Colors. And I used some neon colors, and I also used a stencil to put on a few more little aquatic animals. But it kind of reminded me a little bit of tie-dye, and I wanted to kind of get the glowing effect of the jellyfish, and I like how it turned out. And that is it for Lost Ocean. I do have the artist version, which is a huge book, and you'll see that later in this video. But those are my Lost Ocean and Inky Adventure. The next book is Magical Jungle, and like I said, I'm not really sure when these came out, but let's just take a look. Okay, this is a very old page, way back from 2016 or 2019. Very much colorful, and this was done with Faber-Castell chalk pastels, and then the rest is just done with pencil. So this whole rainbow thing here was done with pencil, and I remember doing this in my vacation home in Las Vegas. And here is another large wallpaper mandala type picture that I did, and I think I did this last year or the year before, and I used paint, so acrylic paint, and then also some sheer craft paint, and so it's shiny. And you can see the image underneath, but I didn't trace this on. I blew up an image of Pooh, and yeah, kind of copied the image as best I could. Did the mandala part with some pencil and some gel pen, and I really like how the page turned out. And I am a big Pooh lover, so that was a fun page to do. This side I've started a double page and then I just kind of gave up on it. I don't have a lot of whips, but apparently I do. And what this whole series will do is help me find the whips, because quite frankly I didn't even remember I had this going on. And here we go. We have another wallpaper page that I used as an altered page. And I used some acrylic paint and then some sponged on treasure gold acrylic paint. And then I used pencils. And I also added, there was a gecko. I made sure that he was still there. And then I added the birds here. So I just made various circles on this, what was a whole page of leaves, and made it a little bit more interesting. And I really like how this turned out, and I love the gold with the green background. And it really does change the whole look of what the page started out as. And this one here, I like how this turned out. Just soft colors. Again, pencils, and this was done with actually Hero oil pencils. So this is when I very first started coloring. Before I had polychromos pencils, I started out with the Guangna Hero pencils and some Faber-Castell chalk pastels that I used to scrape on with a craft knife and then rub with a cotton ball. So we have come a long way, and it's really nice to kind of go back and see how my coloring has evolved. I think this is still a great page, and yeah. So that are my pages from Magical Jungle. Now the next book is not, is probably when it came out, Johanna Basford's Christmas, but I actually only got it, I think, a year or two ago. So I got it far after it had been published, and I have only done a few pages in it. And I did this soft page, and I believe I did this as a buddy color with Cindy Visor, if I'm not mistaken. This is Johanna's only book that is single-sided. This was done in 2023. I like that. And this was also done as a buddy color with Cindy, I'm pretty sure. And I love the gel pen and the accents that I have on there. And then just pencil. That was fun. There's a lot of pictures in here left to do, so if anybody's doing Christmas in July, let me know. Okay, this is just from this year, I'm pretty sure, because this, in fact, I know it is. I've got paint on here, and I also have the Neocolor 1 metallic, and I did the background with that and burnished it, and then sprinkled some paint splatters around the edge as well. So that was fun. And those are all the pages I've done in this book, so still have lots and lots of pages left to do. Yes, that's it for Johanna Basford's Christmas. Now, during the pandemic, Johanna did some freebies, and she had a book called Flourish, a mini adventure, a mini Inky adventure, and I did download it, and I disc bound it. And so this is from 2020. So I have kept it, and I've done a few of these pages a couple of times, and some of these pages ended up coming out in some of her other books. Like this page is in one of her books, and this page as well. And I did this guy. And then I've done this bee page a few times, but I really sparkly wings. So there's some stickles on there. some gelatos, and also a stencil. So yeah, and then the front cover, I did it's hard to see with the ring light on, but I did a mushroom, and I just cut around it and put it inside the laminated cover. So that's her Flourish book. And then we have Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. And I have, instead of disc binding this, before I started disc binding, I did a spiral bind book. So I took it to like Staples and had them spiral bind it for me. After I spiral bound this book, so this was the first book that I did anything with, I then decided to disc bind the rest because I wasn't really totally happy with spiral binding. Now this is my very first ever completed book. So if you want to see an entire flip through, I will leave it in the video description. There is a flip through of this book without commentary. So yeah, I really enjoyed it, and this is basically why I started my channel, is because my poor family was tired of hearing me say, you know, what do you think of this page? And I wanted to share my coloring with like-minded people. So this is the first book I really completed, and I did most of this with the hero pencils, and then I got some this is some watercolor. So I kind of started experimenting with different mediums in this book. So yeah, so I can feel that I have watercolor ground on this page around here, and I used watercolor. But every single page is done. I used some stencils. This was the first time here that I actually drew on background. So I read the story, and then I was incorporating some of the pieces of the story into it. So we've got lots of sparkle on the page. More drawn on backgrounds. I used a charcoal pencil to like a pit pencil. So lots and lots. So we won't go through everything. A couple of the pages. This page here, I really liked how it turned out. It was just the dragon on the page, and I made him into more of a tunnel with some flooring and the perspective. So that was me trying that for the first time. Trying to draw a frame, so not super great, but that was the fun of it, you know, adding my own little touches to the story. Lots of stickles, lots of bright colors. So yeah, I really enjoyed this book, and I will leave a complete flip through of this book because there's so many pages in this book that we won't get through all of today's video if I go through that one. All right, the next one I have is Johanna Basford's World of Flowers. And this one, let's start at the back again. And this one is from February 2020. So just soft colors. I was starting to limit my color palettes at this time. So soft pastel background and some gel pen and some pencils. Sometimes when I have extra paint left over, I will just go and sponge it on a page to use it up. So this one has just got a background on it. This one I hated, and I wasn't happy with the background that I did on it. The flowers were fine. So then I had done the background. I was like, oh, it was terrible. So then I took some neon markers and drew some swirls all over it, which I'm not sure if you can see it well on camera, but they're down here. And yeah, so not every page is great, and this is one of my not great ones. This double page spread is a big series on my channel, and I did a color pencil comparison. So this side here is all different pencils, and there's a full playlist on the channel of each one and the different pencils that I use. So I really was happy with how this turned out. And I kept a piece of paper, like a photocopy of the page ahead of time, and I wrote down which pencils were in each. So these were the Color It pencils, these were Prisma, these were Artex. So that's kind of how it evolved. So yeah, this is the Blick Studio pencils. So if you're wondering about each pencil brand, I did a whole kind of a chart of where they came from, what kind of case they come in, their wax or oil, everything that's about the pencil. And then on this side, the opposite side, I did in July of 2022, which was a World Watercolor Month. So each of these boxes is a different watercolor medium, and that worked out well too. And I see I've got some Winsor Newton iridescent medium, which is a additive that you can add to watercolors, but quite often I just color it right on top or paint it right on top of what I've colored. So that was a cool double page spread. Then I've got this. I did this in January of 2022, and I'm not really sure. This is not one of my favorites. I was trying to make this like a tree with some holes in it where these bugs lived. But yeah, so the background is a stencil and also some gelatos. And then we've got pencils and gel pens for all the little bugs. I'm really not a fan of bugs, so I gave myself credit for even doing this page, but certainly not one of my best. But that was January 2022. And then this was from February, the following month, and I'm a lot happier with how this page turned out. Again, we got pencil and we've got some different Jelly Roll gel pens, and I just like the shine of the gel pen. And this is about as close to a mandala as I'm going to get. Would be something like this. I'm not a repetitive coloring person. This is a double page spread, but I've only completed one side so far, and I did this as a background. So we've got two different stenciled backgrounds here. This one I certainly like better, but there is a picture. There are videos on my channel for both sides. So this one has more rock type shapes in the window, so a little less geometric, and this one is more geometric. But I do like the way this one came out better. I just like the colors of it. So yeah. And I still have two more pages to do there. Okay, this is another wallpaper page where I picked out the different areas that I wanted to do, and I used different pencils in each one, and then I came along with a black pen and did some little marks on the outside just to make each kind of one unique, and to make it so that the gold wasn't so glaring with the black little marks on the outside. And I think that worked well, and I was happy with that. And even though I used different pencils for each one, I was trying to use similar colors so that they still matched, and I think it worked out well. And on this side, I did this as part of a Color With Us Coloring Roulette. It was Color Cube number 22 palette. So it was a very limited palette, and I think it worked well for this picture. We've got some little sparkles there. Very fun. And then we've got this page. And I loved doing this page. Not sure it's my best coloring ever, but I had a lot of fun doing it, from February 2022. And I've got some, I think, Winsor Newton iridescent medium on top of the pink. So they are reflective there. I stenciled on some stars And I did a full background with gelatos, and also looks like pastels. And I do like how that came out. And here is, I think this is the same heart that was in Flourish. I'm not for sure, but I think so. And just lots of flowers, and I'm happy with it. This one was from January 2023. Again, it was a mandala type picture, wallpaper page, and I did not want to do the entire thing. So I took and drew a large sun in the center of it, and so at least I cut down some of the mandala, but pencil for the background, and happy with how it turned out. This was acrylic paint with some sponged on gold paint on top of it as well, and a little bit of gold in all of the centers of the flowers. And I do like how this page turned out. This is from February 2022, and I like the koi. And I used Winsor Newton iridescent medium on the flowers. I used lots of gel pen for this. I used blue metallic watercolor for there, and then it looks like polychromos pencils. So lots of shiny goodness, and I really enjoyed, I was happy with how that page turned out. Now this page here, this is an altered page. Now you'll notice it's upside down, and that's because when I am doing a page in her books, I typically will remove them from my book, work on them, and then put them back. And this was just a wreath, but the problem is I couldn't tell the top or the bottom wreath, and I obviously didn't check the back side of the page, so I just went ahead and did it. And then when I went to put it back in the book, I realized, oh my goodness, I did it upside down. So here you go. This is the way it looks when it's the right side up. I used a stencil for the tree, and I used a lot of different gelatos for the background, some stickles for the center of the flowers, and looks like a jelly roll gel pen for the twig around the outside. But a little bit embarrassing, but it's my book and that's what happens. So we'll turn it back this way so we can continue on, because this side is done. And I've got a protector sheet here because this is an entirely pastel background. I really like how it turned out though, and I love all of the, this is all done with pencil, the coloring. So I had not really started with pens at that time yet, but I might have just started a little bit, because some of this looks like maybe a water-based marker. But yeah, lots of pencil. Okay. I think there's just a few more. Another page where I've just sponged on. So we're ready to complete those at some point. Her little flower motifs, all done with just pencil. And then this one, I'm pretty sure I did a different pencil for each one. But this was a lot of work, but a lot of fun. I do like some of the colors and some of them that I did. This is a large double spread, and I used gel pen, pencils, and ink for a change in the background. I can tell I was starting to learn how to blend some ink on, so not super great, but it's also the sky, so I thought that was okay. And that's the last page for World of Flowers. I hope you had a chance to grab a drink or something. If you need to take a break, now's the time. Put me on pause, because the next one is World of Wonders. I did the Book Belongs To page which I don't always do right away. So just some gel pen and some pencil. And let's see. Okay, so this page I did in October of 2021, and I used Create-A-Color Mega Color pencils. So those are the big chunky thick ones, and I really like how that turned out. Again, we got some sponged on paint, and this one is a bit of a disaster, but this was actually done in July of 2023 for the Coloring Roulette Challenge. We had to only use certain colors. We also had to use paint pens, and we had to have mountains on the page. So I drew the mountains on, I used paint pens, and yeah, this is the results. So happy with how it turned out, in that I accomplished what I was supposed to with it. But is it my best work? Probably not, but it was a challenge, and I met the challenge. This page I did in February of 2025, so just this year, and really happy with how this turned out. Pencil, tempera paint stick background, gel pen, and yeah, really happy with it. I think it looks quite striking with the clouds, pink clouds. I hadn't done pink clouds before, but I was using a limited palette, and I think it worked really well. So this one here is from March of 2022, and I used a Sarah Renelle Clark palette. I used a stencil to kind of make road marks, and I used polychromos, gelatos, and jelly roll pens. So you can tell I like doing backgrounds, because I typically will do one. Now I have a lot of pages left in this book. Here is another multi-page. When I have a multi-page thing, I kind of get tired of just doing it with one set of pencils. So here I've used a bunch of different ones. So I've got Laurentian pencils. So those are ones from way back when I was a child. We used Laurentian pencils. I have Crayola, Twistables, Blick Studio, Prisma Premier, Polychromos, Create-A-Color Mega Color, Color It, Bambino crayons, clay crayons, and the Lyra Polycolor. I have since thrown out the Color It pencils, and the Crayola Twistables I gave away, and the rest I still have. So yeah. Okay, now this one here was done in October 2021, and I used Bambino clay crayons, and I used a stencil to do some stars around it. And I'm not really sure, I don't need the paper there anymore, but yeah. This one here is done in February of 2022, and I used some gelatos for putting in the flooring, and then I was trying some ink techniques to do clouds in the sky. I'm not really sure that I like that, but it's done. I was using some stencils that I had from when I had scrapbooking, and it wasn't the best approach, but at the time that's all I had. So yeah, this is 2022. Here's those 4 birds again that were in her Flourish. This is a video on the channel, and this is how I saved a page. So this is in my altered page playlist, and I used black flash to cover up the whole background, and then I used Treasure Gold and some stencils to do the moon and stars, and then we've got pencil and gel pen. And I had to recover this page because I did this page and I did it with watercolor, and some of the watercolor bleeded through to the other side around the top edges and stuff, so that's that, and I'm really happy with this page. I love the background. And so this is just a bunch of different watercolors, different colors watercolors. This is not granulating. I don't have any granulating watercolors, so this is me doing that on my own. Then I also use some gold metallic paint, and I've got a bunch of silver in the center of the flowers. So yeah, and I've got some started to use the glossy accents. So I've got a little glossy accents there. But yeah, really enjoyed this page. It's still one of my favorite pages. This is a page from June of 2023, and it was also a buddy color with my friend Cindy. And I have a little bit of glaze pen here, so I also got the Jelly Roll glaze and started to use those. I used some stencil to do a better cloud stencil this time, and yeah, happy with how that turned out. This is from June of 2022, and again, this is a watercolor background. And then I used some Winsor Newton iridescent medium to make little ripples. I used a lot of silver paint on the mechanical shark. And yeah, happy with how it turned out. Another page completed. More pastel background. This is also a buddy color, I'm pretty sure, with Cindy. We have buddy colored a lot over the years, and I really appreciate it. So hi to Cindy in Canada. And I turned this into a carousel. So I added the base, the balloons. So because I'm pretty sure this stick was not coming out of the poor horse ahead of time, but I turned it into a carousel, and I like how it turned out. I do like to alter pages when I can. Not that the original illustration wasn't good enough. I just like to put my own twist on things. This was a buddy color with Megs from, at that time, Disney Megs Coloring. And I think she's changed her name now. But yeah. And this is I had some gel medium. It was Stickles gel medium. So it had little confetti stars in it. So after coloring the page, I smeared that on. So that's what you're seeing is all shiny, shiny goodness there. Happy with my light colored clouds. I thought that kind of looked cool. And then the background, if you can see it behind all the shininess, is pink and blue. So yeah, happy with how that turned out. This was from April 2021, and it's just a cute little elephant. Stencil and background. Now this was from February 2022. It's a double page spread, and I used different colors ink and a stencil to make the background. So I've got yellow, blue, pink, peach, green, so different colors. It might be hard to see, and then I kind of did each little one separately. I've got some watercolor paint as well, and so there's lots of shiny spots. But yeah, it was a fun double page spread. And this is the book belongs to page. We're back to there. And those were all my pages from Worlds of Wonder. Just a few books left, and less pages complete. So let's do Rooms of Wonder. The other one was called Worlds of Wonder. And I have hardly any pages done. So we'll go starting from the start. This I did just last summer, and this was for the Summer Olympics. The Paralympics, this is the Canadian Paralympics symbol. The background is done with pigment pens, and they are in the colors of the Olympic rings. So this was for my Olympic challenge. This was a buddy picture for, I believe I did it as, I know I did it as a buddy color, and I think it was with Sherry, but I could be wrong on the person, so I'll just say it was a buddy color. I do like that I have a little bit of gold paint and the wings are all stickles, and I am happy with how this page turned out. And I only did a few gold spots because I thought less was more sometimes. I did use some glaze, so some of the flowers are reflective due to glaze pen. I do have a buddy color coming up in June in this book. Otherwise, I think I've only done, I've done one other page. And this was done in September of 2023. And I do have some stickles, some glossy accents on some of these to make them look. I did add a background and some washi tape of balloons and completed the balloons up top. I used lots of different dual hybrid metallic gel pens on this to make it all sparkly. So yeah, nice completed page there. And that's it. So yeah, the page that I guess I'm happiest with so far in this book is this page, which was my altered page for the celebrating the Paralympics. All right, those were all the pages from Rooms of Wonder. I will go ahead and show you just a few. I've got 3, and they're super huge, artist editions. So for the artist editions, I have the Enchanted Forest. There's 20 drawings in here instead of her full one. And this one, I think I actually have not colored in. So I do not currently have this on my untouched book list, but I am going to need to add it because this is an untouched book. The second artist edition I have is Secret Gardens, and I have completed one page. Now this, I pulled them out after I'm done with them. In fact, I pull them out while I'm working on them because they do come out, it's glue bound and it comes out easily. So I'm pretty sure this is from Secret Gardens because it has the same little flower on the back side. So I did this quite a while ago, and it's been hanging on my wall for a few years, so it hasn't actually faded that badly. But I did use pastel for a lot of it, and then polychromos. So happy with how this one turned out. And I'm actually gonna switch out what I'm hanging up on my wall since I had to pull it down to show you. And then this is the Lost Ocean. This is the last artist edition I have, and I've got 2 pages done in it. This page here just last month, and I used the medium heavy body paint and some Copic markers. So, and I added a few things. So if you want to see this one complete, there is a video on the channel for that, and there's also a video on the channel for this, or a short anyways. This was done a couple of years ago, and it is done with ink, some gelatos, and some pencils, and some gold, it looks like the gold Fine Tech paint. So, and then again I added extra sea creatures or little fishies, and some glossy accents for the bubbles and his eye. So those are the 2 pages I have completed from Lost Ocean. Again, there are 24 drawings in this book, so there's a selection of the pages. So like in the regular book, this was a double page spread. On here, it's just a single page. And these are really thick pieces of paper. They're like heavy cardstock. So they take all mediums really well. So if you get a chance to find one of these artist editions, they are worth it. I got, this says Canadian dollars, $30. I did not pay that for this. I got this, these artist editions. Sometimes they pop up on Amazon, but if you are in like a home goods store or a discount store. Sometimes they'll have them, and that's where I've picked these up for like $5. So definitely worth it. And the last book is also the smallest book, so I actually might zoom you down. 1 second. Okay, so the last book is Johanna Basford's smallest book. It's Small Victories, and this is the last one I have purchased from her. I haven't bought her latest books, and since I still have so many pages left to color in her books, I'm not going to be buying any of them for a while. I need to focus on getting a few more done. So in the Small Victories book, I have decided I got this for a Christmas present in 2023 for my son and daughter-in-law. And I decided to do less backgrounds and make this more about a small victory. So here I used Staedtler pigment pens, and I did it in March of 2024. Here I used Tom Bowden twin tone markers. I was testing those out in January 2024. And then I covered the whole thing in Mod Podge Glitter Extreme, so that's why it's all sparkly. I've also used this book as a buddy color book, so there's quite a few buddy colors in here. This is March 2024, January 2025, and I did this as a buddy color with Nikki, I believe. This page here was completed in 2 different videos in March of 2025, and there is a video on my channel. And I used clean color Zig brushables and clean color water-based markers, and then I used some tissue paper dots for the background. This was a buddy color with Colorful Diaries in February of 2024. And again, really hardly any background, just a little bit of light brushed on ink and some pencil on the bottom. I decided to stop doing backgrounds when I did this one. Did this as a buddy color in February 2024 with Cindy, and I hated it. I tried a stencil and it didn't work. So then I tried to paint over it, and that kind of worked, but it didn't. And then I put some washi tape over this. So yeah, after this page, I'm like, just do what you want in this book, but leave the backgrounds out. So, and this here is another buddy color in March 2024. And when I looked at this page, I saw this as a large rock in a aquarium. And then when my buddy did her page, she did this as the water and all of this as the rock. So it was interesting how we both saw the page totally differently. And after seeing hers do it as you know, this was not a K or a rock, but this was the rock, I saw the picture differently. But I do still think that it looks good the way I did it. And here is a page from January 2024. And this was mechanical pencils and Prismacolor glaze, and this was from June 2024. So the glaze is the green outline for the bottle. Might be hard there, you can kind of see the glaze there. So yeah, happy with how that turned out. But you'll notice, so this was September 2024. I did this for Space-Tember, and this is the only one where I purposely decided, yes, I actually wanted to do a background. So this is acrylic paint background. We've got metallic gelatos for the, if you can see, kind of like the Aurora Borealis kind of, or a galaxy. That's what I'm trying to do. Then I did some gel pens for the stars, and then each one was done with pencil. So yeah, happy with how this turned out. And it was my Space-Tember page. And that no, one more page. So this I did with a page from Cindy Visor, and I did it in January 2024, and all I did was draw 2 clouds for my background. So yeah, that was it. Those are all my completed pages and my collection of Johanna Basford books. I hope you enjoyed that. If you want me to continue this series, leave a comment below to keep going, and then I will gather up the rest of my books. Like I said, I have 125 books. That includes 13 completed ones. So when I do have a complete playlist on my channel of completed books. So when I bring the completed books into my collection, I won't show an entire flip through because those are already on the channel. I hope you enjoyed today. I hope you're having a creative and colorful week yourself. And until the next video, take care and have fun. Bye-bye, everyone.